I'm doing something that's postmodern, I think. Although I'm kind of behind, I think we've kind of moved on since then. I'm having a conversation. There's Mason. I'm talking to Mason. I'm filming it. I'm being filmed by myself and talking to my friend Mason at the same time. And this is like to look at this. Yeah, Uncle Chuck too. And he's gonna turn 32 on the 18th. And have you ever to look at the philosophical implications of this?
Are you a car guy, Gil?
A car guy?
Yeah.
Car guy. Oh, it broke again. Car guy. Not really. I always wished I knew how to work on cars. But I never really learned. I should stop being postmodern right now. Maybe, I don't know what comes after postmodern, but we're gonna do that right now. Whole motorcycle gang just drove by in front of me. Did a wheelie. Some hotshots always doing a wheelie. I used to do wheelies on my BMX bicycle. Remember what it was like to be a kid, riding my bike everywhere. All I wanted to do was ride my bike until I started skateboarding. Then of course. So right now I'm going to Goodwill. I got a car full of stuff to offloading, jettison. So I got a little Goodwill right down the. Oh, there's right there. It's coming too fast. So I'm pulling in Goodwill without getting into car accidents or running anybody over. Whenever I drive, my number one rule for myself is to not run anybody over. So that's just a very complicated ordeal when that happens. And I do have the right to park here. But yeah, oh yeah, sorry. So gonna donate some stuff. Not because I'm a good person, but because it's secondary to needing to get rid of stuff. But maybe those are kind of both preeminently important. So then I'm gonna go. I think I should get a pirate patch because I can see better doing this. So it's kind of strange to think about poetically about how I can see better with one eye closed. And I have a problem with seeing life as a short story or like short fiction. So everything's got to be symbolic and everything, or like a metaphor for something. And I don't know if that's always the best way to look at life, but I like doing that. And maybe if I can pull it off, it'll be okay. I mean, as long as you can pull things off. And, like they say, don't break the rules. But what if you can break the rules and like from a good place and get away with it and for good reasons? And everybody's happy and glad that you did it. I knew it was wrong, but I did it for a better reason than the rule was for. And then you get into like there's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law and all that. So just trying to keep everybody happy, kind of like spinning plates sometimes or juggling, I'm so I like to think that I'm good at it. I at least like feel like everybody's happy or that I can keep everybody happy. But I'm going to get lost in abstraction right now, so I'm going to go like rediscover myself, and I'll rediscover myself, and I'll be renewed. I'll be born again, and like the updated gospel, the living word. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm Jesus like everybody else, or that I'm not. Well, yeah, I got some soul searching to do. So bye. All right, so I just gave all that stuff to Goodwill, and they didn't accept pillows because that's like policy. I'm used to policies, and that's totally fine. I'm not offended or anything, and it makes sense, So gave away everything except the pillows. I'm still a Rolling Stone and don't have a place. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop it. You probably heard of the book series Conversations with God, and that's one of the books I kept that I found in the box of books that I was that I volunteered to take to the thrift store. And I read these before, and I was thinking like, what would it be like if I, took it upon myself to feel called of God and write a book about my conversations with God, and then talk to my editor about how to make it apply to everybody. I wonder what the editing process was like for that. They're like, well, wait, can we make God say this or whatever? And I think it'd be hard to do that without like inserting all my political views, because I'm certain that I'm right. Like my politics makes the most sense, and I'm confident that people I usually disagree with are usually wrong, or that I mostly disagree with are mostly wrong in exactly the ways that I disagree with them. But anyways, I probably shouldn't write a book about my conversations with God. I should just have my conversations with God, and then I could then he could like be less likely to impose my opinions. And then again, like God is like, I might like make God say things that I want him to say to me, but then I don't want to like deter myself from trying to talk to God anyway. So maybe keeping that in mind and can help me have like a better conversation with God, more accurate if I'm open to the possibility that I might be projecting things that I want to hear. I've done that in other ways. Right now I'm going to the CVS to try and find a pirate patch. So in other ways, trying to, with honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. So people call it the how. And it's just like a lot of things you practice it. Of course, once I decided to try and be honest, open-minded, and willing, it wasn't like I tried and got it right the first time, but I feel like I hope I've gotten better at it. I feel like I have, or at least it's been more effective in giving me peace of mind, if that's any index to successfully living life. Then again, I was told by my attorney to think happy thoughts at one of the worst possible imaginable things I could imagine being my life that actually happened. And he told me to think happy thoughts, so it didn't work too well for me. I know you should always listen to your attorney, but I think that was kind of like extracurricular to his purview. I don't know if happy thoughts is a legal term. Certainly has a definition and a way that I understand it. And to me, they kind of like, I think that's what people mean when they say cope. Like it's like a common internet lingo these days. Oh, it's a cope. Somebody's just trying to cope with reality. Kind of like a way of describing like, oh, you're just saying that to feel good about yourself, or you're just saying that to like you get your head in the sand kind of thing, or you're in denial or whatever, you don't want to admit or want to deal with, face reality as it is. And I like at least feeling like I'm facing reality as it is, or at least being developing the willingness to look at those things that I at least want to look at. Like this that I'm looking. I did the mirror thing. I'm not going to hold my phone backwards, But yeah, the self is definitely something to look at, and rather than you got to look at it, and then also from it, from it at it, and self-reflection and all that stuff. So like I said, I was going to do that. I was going to do some self-reflection, and I happened to find this book, and then I asked God what he wanted me to do, and he's joking, I didn't. I just thought it'd be clever, and maybe that's I don't want to, it'd be like I'd be making the same mistake by saying like this guy's just trying to be clever by coming up with a conversation with God, and like as a way of like saying something, just like how people ask rhetorical questions as a way to insert an opinion. So maybe like it's like, is this a rhetorical device? I think it may or may not be. It could be. If it is, it is. If it's not, then I accept responsibility, and you don't even have to give me a lie detector test. I'll own up to it before. Kind of like the good cop, bad cop kind of thing. You don't have to get the lamp out. You don't even. So honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness has really helped me. Like right now, I can tell I'm, just like being quirky and stuff like that, or just like leaning into my nervous reflex to, be eccentric and stuff like that. I definitely have worked that angle. That's another one of the reasons why I earned the nickname Angle Master. I get to when I went to boarding school, I got to be the eccentric, the weird guy but kind of in a cool way kind of thing. At least I liked it. Well, they treated me like I was cool. I didn't feel like it, of course, and of course I felt like people feel when they're in high school, or I think I've heard a lot of people feel when they're in high school, kind of like they're just kind of smiling and waving nervously, wondering if anybody else can notice that they have no fucking idea what they're doing, or like like hiding that even from themselves, like I did. And I thought I knew everything. I knew everything. And I had a mouthpiece on me. So like one time I made one of my teachers cry because she couldn't break through my ego, or couldn't like, I didn't humble myself, I should say. I wasn't able to take in what she was saying and acknowledge. I could like intellectually acknowledge that I don't know everything, but just as a way of saying like, oh, I know that I don't know everything, and kind of like how that proliferates in that way. And it continues to do so to this day. How much of how we are is just a compensation or just like a realizing, just like a more sophisticated way of knowing what sounds good. Like, is our vulnerability really vulnerable? Like, when we say things like from the heart, are we just like, is it just like a rhetorical thing? Like, oh, here's me when I open up, I'm sitting in my car and I pour my heart out, and it's just, it's like, and then again, like, you got, I guess everything, because it's at the core of it. Like, you could do the same thing from a place of love or a place of, a desperate need to compensate for some essential core insecurity, and what does it mean to be fulfilled? What does it mean to, what is joy? What does it mean to feel alive? I spent a long time, I didn't mean for this to happen. I mean, this, what I'm saying right now, I spent a long time, like I've mentioned it before. Sorry, I'll try and stop squinting my eye until I get the pirate patch and you can't see it anymore. But like, not feeling like a real person, not feeling like I had a seat at the table, so to speak, or like wondering like how everybody else, I heard it so often, everybody else has got they got the inside. Like the whole world is like an inside joke on me, everybody's like, he doesn't get it, like, but more and more, I've heard that a lot of places. And so like, if that's what you need to hear, that you're not alone, and it's kind of like, well, I don't know what I was going to say after I said it's kind of like, maybe just setting myself up for an alley-oop or something. So that's probably a good sign that I should go get my pirate patch, and I'll show, then I'll try and think of some more weird things to say to compensate for my central insecurity and desperate need for attention. I got the eye patch. I was thinking it's probably not a good idea to drive with it, because I might get pulled over. And then I was thinking, like, why would I get pulled over? And I thought it'd be funny to say. So I like thinking of funny things to say. It'd be funny to say, or feel like, or pretend that it would be because pirates are shady characters. So if a police officer saw a pirate driving a car, first it'd be anachronistic, and then second it'd probably be like, oh, that pirate's up to no good. He's probably being a scallywag. God, if you're listening, I ask that you please take it easy on me. Also, please allow me to believe maybe a few more of the right things. I could say some stuff too. Maybe we could work out some kind of mutually beneficial arrangement. I could go like convince people to believe in you, or at least who I think you are, or like, come up with a really good, really warm, glowing review, and make people, make their bosom swell, and just be really persuasive. And I'll be charismatic, but like in the best sense of the word, or like the original spiritual sense of the word, charisma. And just speak the true gospel, the true, not the not true stuff, just only the true stuff. I'll just say all the true stuff, just only true things about you, only the whole, just like all the, not even just the legal definition of God, if that, because that's in contracts, it all goes back to the business of music class. Like in contracts, they'll have a clause, we call it the clause for acts of God. So in lieu of things, or to describe or to account for things like earthquakes and all that stuff, that acts of God, so I don't know, you probably have to litigate that, like, was this or was this not an act of God, like, so you like to write the conversations with God, like, was this book an act of God, like, would that be true in the legal sense? I mean, like, there's a lot of paperwork to do with court and stuff like that, but there'd be a lot of stuff to, like, put in brackets and stuff. So driving back to the house, I'm really excited to show Sarah my pirate patch. You know, she was, I could tell it displeased. Well, it's really, it's kind of irritating for people to see me squint my eye all the time. I hope you'll forgive me if you see it in a video. Hopefully it'll be endearing. You'll say, oh, that's a nice detail of the video, like it's good for the overall aesthetic, like it's, you know, this character that he's playing, it fits, you know, it fits his, or it's juxtaposed to the constellation of his personality. It's compelling, you know, because, you know, a person can't be all good or all bad. That's just, we need, and characters, not me, I don't need to be multi-dimensional, complicated, multi-layered, complex, you know. I like simple things, say what I mean and call it like I see it. Straight shooter, you know. You always know where you stand with me. I'll tell you, I ain't afraid. So I've been vaguely aware of this thing called gangster vision. Well, it's kind of like a growing concept that I've had, of how, you know, how you see someone in public and you kind of got that nod, like there's that mutual knowing. It's not really like a namaste thing. It's more of like I guess it's like the street version of namaste. It's like not new age, it's old school. Oh man, it's so good. And so I'm back here with my pirate patch. I put it on after I got done driving because I'm not that bold, you know. Not very good pirate, because being a pirate you got to take big risks, you know. And so in that sense I'm not a pirate, but so this is strictly for medical reasons, not for my vocation.